Exactly, yeah.
Call this meeting to order. It's a meeting of the Board of Selectmen on May 2nd, 2016, 6:30 p.m. and it is a regular meeting. And the first item on the agenda is pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's something we need to add to the agenda, which is a tax refund, which just came in today. So I just, before we start, I want to, make a motion to add under new business, in item E called property tax refund.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Then, just throw this in the file in the right spot. Okay. Approval of minutes.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of April 18th as written.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have you seen the correspondence list?
Oh, it's here.
Are we sliding the present to speak?
Oh my gosh, no, I didn't, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We're making the meeting a little quicker.
I'm like, no, we're going fast.
Adjourn.
Present to speak. Hi. I think Christine has something to say.
Sorry, Christine, I was walking you.
Yeah, that's all right, though. I just wanted to give you a little rundown about the primary last Tuesday. Suzanne and I both thought that things went very well, very smoothly. No really hiccups or anything like that. Turnout, as you know, was pretty good, over 50%. I think the total was 56.2%. We had a little over 1,000 people come in to vote in person, 34 absentee ballots. I was really hoping for a much bigger turnout, only because we were getting so many registrations the last 2 weeks, and most of them were students. I just envisioned a line out the door at some point during the day. It never materialized. So I'm curious, and at some point I'm going to check the who voted list and compare it to, the new registrations over the last couple of weeks to see if those students actually did come in or not.
Well, the other thing is too, is it close to half of the registered voters aren't Democrats or Republicans, right? So those people weren't in the mix. Because sometimes when you do get the lines, those are for the presidential.
But again, most of the registrations that were coming in at the last minute were people who were registered with one of those parties.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, that would mean, you know what, I'm interested in coming in to vote in the primary.
Yeah.
But again, they didn't really come in. Maybe they're anticipating, it'd be nice to say, oh, good, I'm going to register now so I'll be all ready for November. But I think we're going to get hit
Maybe they're
right
going to come
before the
tomorrow.
November elections.
Yeah, maybe they're coming tomorrow for the budget, for the budget.
Okay. Well, on that note, if you recall when you came in to vote, Tish, our tabulator tender, hit almost every single person going out the door to remind them about the referendum tomorrow. So it would be great if we got more than our usual 9 to 10% tomorrow.
That's
So,
depressing.
we'll see.
Yeah,
All that work for 9 to 10%.
I know.
We will see what happens tomorrow. Anyway, again, registrars thought that everything went well. And we're now doing our annual canvas, which means we get in touch with people who we've been notified that have moved out of town or moved within town. So we're going to be busy with that over the next month. Anyway, again, hopefully we can get a nice turnout tomorrow as well. Keep our fingers crossed. And we'll let you know. The widget will be on the website, so that if you go to the town website, right on the front page, you can see live how we're doing, how folks are coming out. Cool.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, you guys did a great job.
thanks.
Anybody else present to speak? Okay, correspondence?
What's the army? What's the department of the army for Turnpike Road?
That's the permit from the Army Corps of Engineers.
Oh, God.
No, we've been waiting for
So
a
we got
year.
it, we got it.
We got it.
Well, yeah, now there's more.
Well, one step at a time, baby steps.
Yes, but it's moving along. Moving forward.
Okay.
With my status report, let's see. Senior housing, if you've been over there, and you should go over there and check it out. They have started construction. They have their construction trailer up and they have poured the footings for the 4 separate buildings. And they're talking about doing a groundbreaking ceremony, even though they technically have broken ground already, but they were waiting for the muddy season to end before they did something official, but that should be coming up. And they're gonna have various construction meetings that we're gonna make an effort to get to, so. And let's see, Old Town Hall, the electrical and restoration, which we got the funds to do back a few months ago. We're still getting the estimates and hoping to go to the Board of Finance with that soon. For the Turnpike Road, like we were just saying, got the approval from DEP and DOT through which the Army Corps of Engineers was part of that whole thing. But now we're just waiting for inland wetlands to approve what they heard just last week. Because part of the, it's a long story, but part of the holdup was they wanted to change the plan. So now the inland wetlands has to look at that. And they are, so. Hopefully they'll give approval at their next meeting and then we're good to go. And Carl is already working on the bid docs so that they're ready to send the second we get the approval. Daleville School Bridge, that's part of the whole learning curve from Turnpike Road was seeking this additional permit from DEP, which is sort of one of those steps that we weren't aware we had to do, but we do, so we're gonna go ahead and do that with that one before we get too far down the road.
An additional permit?
Well, I don't know, Derek could
Through the
probably
Army
explain.
Corps of Engineers
Oh,
and Fisheries.
It's one of those things where we get approval from inland wetlands, which is sort of acting as the agent in fulfilling the will of DEP. But then they want to have a say too, I guess, which we didn't think, but, and there doesn't seem to be a distinction if it's a project that we were using state money on. So we kind of learned that, and
Wasn't DEP now claiming jurisdiction over the mud puddle in your front yard? And everything up
Not
there,
yet.
so.
Next year.
actually, yeah, next year they will be. Yep. So,
Have you
yeah.
seen the proposed, there was some new proposed regulations, I think coming out in 2017,
What, for MS4?
federal. Yeah, well,
Oh.
MS4 is part of it. They're pushing it down to the states.
Yeah, the Clean Water Act.
Yeah, it has to do with if you disturb an acre.
And hasn't the Supreme Court kind of shot them down on that? They said, we don't care.
Oh yeah, just got a little blurb about it, it's like, not more.
Yeah. Well, we'll do our part to be in compliance, but it's not cheap. So, Village Hill drainage engineering, we've got Carl on that. So we haven't done much lately, so.
It flows downhill.
Mhm.
It flows downhill to the
Flows
bottom.
downhill, yep. Public Works garage improvements, it's done, right?
Yes.
So we can take that one off the list. And the Selectmen Wing renovations, Robin's been getting different contractors in to get bids and talk about what actually is possible, so we keep rethinking what we could or should do there to make the layout make more sense, so we're working on it. And Wellington Day 2016, we just came from a meeting with our committee, and planning is well underway. And I don't know if we need any more volunteers, do you think so? Yeah. Yeah, we could definitely use volunteers, but.
For next year.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do that day too, so.
We always welcome.
But, and the thing is, that like each of there's a lot of groups participating this year, which is great. But each of those groups is gonna be looking at their memberships to find people to volunteer as well. And I know that's always a challenge for each group. And then the same people end up being affiliated with different things and getting pulled in different directions. So there are people out there who would like to participate. We can find a place for them to help out, I'm sure, so. And the new CIP projects, I put that on here as a placeholder because I don't want to forget to put them on. And I put on here that we're going to add them to the list after the referendum, which is tomorrow. So assuming that the referendum passes, that the projects that will be on the list going forward are the Hall Memorial School playground equipment, the center school replacement doors, the town office building masonry and door replacement, the planning and zoning plan of conservation and development, and more renovations at the public works garage, which is putting in the mini splits and the garage door seals, and there's the new pickup truck for the animal control officer, the heaters for the center school gym, the Wellington Hill Fire Department rescue tools, the River Road Athletic Center, or Athletic Complex fitness stations, the senior center, septic re-permitting, MS4 consulting and compliance, and public works environmental configuration engineering, and that's pretty much it. So I'll end up on there, so.
How did you leave the pillars underneath the
Well,
assessor side?
that's in this year,
Oh, it is?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that should be on the list because that's one of those things we never put on the list, but it was from last year's CIP. And there's money to do it, we just need to do it. So that's where we are. And Public Works, Derek's here.
You want me to read it?
Sure.
Crew has been busy with the following: sweeping of roads and municipal lots, at 3/4 stone to dry hydrant pull-offs on Route 320 and Myrtle Road, grading of gravel roads, sign repair replacement due to vandalism, also hit by motorists, clean Halls Pond rec area, inspect and repair playscape at River Road Park, repair door handle at Finance Department, secure trimmer on stairs in lower level conference room, and repair hole in the wall tax collector's office.
Oh, I didn't know you did that.
Yep.
I didn't know there was a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Why was
So
there?
where I think it was an electric heater, a little small,
Uh-huh.
that was behind the file cabinet.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, thanks, Derek. Anybody have any questions for Derek? The sweeping's going really good.
Yeah.
Fast. Fast this year.
As long as it doesn't rain, just keep raining.
Yeah,
Street.
yeah, it's gonna rain all week.
It could be snow.
Yeah, it
Could
could
be.
be worse. It did snow in Maine last week, right? Okay, so, new business, the zoning assistant position discussion. So, Jim, I see you're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you
in the dark.
wanna kinda start us off, cause it was the Board of Finance that started a discussion about this. Or actually, well, technically it was planning and zoning who made a request that was denied, and you all explained why, and now they've written back, so.
Right, and so rather than just denying it and moving on, we, and try to get my board, okay, well, summarize your key concerns here so we can get the ball rolling. And the concerns were, first, they thought the most important issue to address was customer service. Any position filled within the planning and zoning office must improve the experience. and a case for the process for customers. So it's believed that to accomplish this, somebody with a high level of technical skills required, not just an additional administrative assistant. So we understand that whoever you're putting in here has to be skilled at this. There seems to be some confusion. The second item was there seems to be confusion on part of the office customers as to what's required to pursue a building or development project within Willington. The Board of Finance would expect any addition to these offices that will help assist in streamlining and clarifying this process. I believe the Economic Development Commission mentioned that. They're trying to diagram that out and figure out how that all worked. And then third, so we're just taking all these inputs we get from all these other groups and try to summarize them in our letter. And then third, unlike other town positions, it's not a clear reporting structure. This is kind of like I guess like a project manager of a construction, right? You have a land use agent and, reports to various different boards and things like that. So, it's, it's something like in terms of accountability, how does that flow? We haven't really thought that out, or what happens if there's a dispute, or what happens if a client comes in here and says, hey, I can't find anybody, what's going on, where do I go, right? Do I call the selectman? Probably call the selectman. And then finally, I think, in order to sort this all out, we said, look, we just all gotta get together as a, get all the boards together, and then we should just try to hash it out, what makes sense. And maybe it does make sense to have the assistant position that you're asking for, we don't know, but I thought at least everybody thought we should at least talk it out, discuss it, make sure we understand what the requirements are, make sure we're addressing all these needs, the various groups, and move forward from there. So our letter kicked that off, and I believe all the boards responded with a letter in kind saying, sure, we'd love to get together and work with you, and I think that's how we got to this point.
Yeah, because then, so, in terms of, the reason why I wanted to put it on the agenda is to see where we think our role in this discussion is. And it's probably easiest for us to set up a meeting, a joint meeting of all the boards, than it is for any of the other boards to do. So I figured it would make sense for us to take the lead on that and talk. So, I know when we were copied on the letters from both of the boards, that it looks like they took a lot of time to write, and they both say different things too. And I know that there's just in general a lot of thoughts about it from other people in town too, from economic development and just from residents that have talked about it over the years of what the best way to staff that department is. So anyway, I guess what I want to do is just take the lead and set up a meeting. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, I think we should. I kind of thought that's what tonight was. I kind of thought like everybody would be here and we would discuss it while we were right here. It's kind of what I thought, but it's not.
Yeah. Jim's here.
Yeah, Jim's here. But we know what Jim wants.
Yeah, it's hard.
We've got 3 different commissions, plus us, and individuals on each of these commissions who each have their own ideas, which may differ, so it should be probably a round robin. So
Yeah,
not just one person from each board, but
right.
anyone.
And we've done joint meetings of boards at the library before where, we set up the tables in a way where each of the boards sits at their own table, and I think that works out well. We just have to plan for it, so. I mean, basically this didn't make it into the budget this year, and we're voting on the budget tomorrow, but, I don't think there's a rush to decide something right away. We have basically another year or maybe 9 months before the next budget season starts, but we have time to think about it and consider it.
If something happened in the meantime, if all of a sudden there was a building boom or something, we could always adjust mid-season, but I don't see any reason why we're in a hurry now, so.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
but we
this
just
is a
don't
good
wanna
time.
wait forever because that's what happens every year, although, I don't know, at least you gave some feedback this year, which is great, because this is what, the third year that
At
they,
least, it might be the fourth.
year that they've been asking for somebody, so it was nice that there was some feedback this year. I don't know. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's just a lot of different ideas of what people think this position should be or could be. And we probably have, well, we've talked about it before, I think we have our own take on what it should be, so. Yeah,
And also who should have overall
oversight.
cognizance of oversight on the position.
On all the positions.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I have an issue with that, with the zoning officer position not reporting to the selectmen, reporting to the boards at this point.
Mhm. All right, well, so then I'll go ahead and do that. That's easy. All right, a discussion regarding the Christmas tree in the town green. I'm glad Bob Shabbat's here. So I think this year was the second year where after people were putting the lights on the tree and looking at the tree up close, realized that the tree is not in great shape and that it's perhaps at the end of its life. It's in final stages. So it so it's showing signs of distress, I guess is another way to put it. So Bob has talked to me, and a few different people have talked to me about what to do. And you know, there's different schools of thought, I guess. Someone said, well, just get a baby tree and plant it up there. And that's not as simple as it sounds, right? Because you have to get approval from the historic district to plant a tree up there. And then where would we put it? And there's some history with the tree that's there now, right? And there was a twin tree that had been planted that was symmetrical with the monument. Then that one died, and they put the Japanese maple, the red maple, in its place. So you might not have noticed, but there is a little symmetry there. So where would you put another tree? I'm sure we could find a spot, but but right now it's not an obvious thing. And then what Bob had suggested, which is I guess a common practice, is to take out the old tree and put a new tree in its spot. So kind of preempt it falling down.
Not just a little baby tree, though.
Not just a baby tree, but like a kind of big enough tree that would
We put lights on.
that you could put lights on, yeah. And but then that obviously there's some cost involved in doing that because you have to get the tree and then you have to transport the tree and plant the tree, and since it's big, you've got to dig it up, and then there's also the getting out the old tree. So
When would that have to be done? Is that something that should be done in the spring? Is the summer too hot?
Well, it's something that probably is best done either in the spring or in the fall. It's, you know, one of the things, Christine and I have talked at length about this, and, you know, I think if you cut that tree down, excavated the area, get rid of the roots and all, prepared the area, and then found somewhere between 12 and, maybe 12, 15 foot evergreen, and hire someone with a large spade that, come up here to the green, spade out the hole, go to the other place where the tree is growing, spade it out of the ground, transport it here and put it in the hole. And then it needs to be guy wired and watered and such on an ongoing basis to make sure, you know, that the transplant is successful. But there again, you would have, you know, a sizable tree, so you're not dealing with something that you start out at 3 feet and
keep your fingers crossed that in 25 years you'll be able to have something other than a Charlie Brown tree.
Be 23, but they grow a foot a year, right?
Well,
It'll be 23 feet in 20 years.
Yeah, well, so it just seems like a logical way to replace that tree and still have something memorable on the green. And there's a few people that I've talked with have suggested that they have trees or they could probably get a tree donated. And we just need to follow through on that, as well as, you know, locating someone with a large spade like that and, you know, contracting with them to get that job done.
I actually made a phone call today inquiring about the
Spade, yeah.
What'd you find out?
nothing yet. Waiting for a call back.
He wasn't answering, so I.
I'm like on the edge of my seat in suspense.
I know there are landscapers that can transplant full-size trees.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, if that's what you're talking
I
about.
have a tree that you guys are welcome to transplant. It's about a 15 or 20 foot Fraser fir. It's in, and it's, was gonna be a Christmas tree, but it got too big.
Now it's just right.
Just right for the green, yeah.
Wow.
So and it's one of those things that I, you know,
Yeah, so you don't have to
you'd
buy.
want to defer
No,
to
the tree's
the,
easy. Moving it's the tough
the
one.
people that, you know, the arborists that transplant trees like that, if the tree is suitable or not, and what their thoughts are on the situation. You know, if it's growing in gravel and there's no ledge or anything, they usually come out pretty easy with those large
Spades,
truck-based spades, so,
well, except in our soil.
well, yeah.
Well, how much do you, I mean, how much do you think it would cost for the trucks to move this thing?
It's like heavy equipment, so much an hour.
Maybe we can, maybe we could donate.
Yeah.
Can you get
I
the
mean,
purchase?
you know,
Well, right.
You may get somebody.
if they want a little Christmas.
Well, you
tree,
could,
you
yeah.
know,
With the field of one house,
Oh, yeah, to donate, to offset the cost.
To offset the cost,
Yeah.
so it doesn't cost the town.
getting up.
Right, yeah, that's what I think.
Would be a
I
challenge.
think so too, I really think that we could. Are you trying to find out, Derek, how much money it's gonna cost, is that
Yeah.
why you?
Something like that, I don't know that it's realistic to ask for a donation. If you can get it, that's fine, but, you know, people, equipment like that, that's how they make their living.
We
Well,
were
it
talking
was-
about donating, people donating money to pay for that, not asking somebody to donate equipment. Yeah, I wasn't asking, I wouldn't ask them to do that.
You might ask them for a discount.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you don't get something.
This is true. And sometimes if you do ask, you don't get it.
Well, that's true too.
A lot of times. All right, well, I was just thinking that we should probably form some kind of subcommittee to stay on top of it.
Christmas tree committee?
Yeah, because, it's.
There we go, I like that. Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, and I think there's some other people too, that I know that might have trees. We have a couple of old Christmas tree farms in town, so there's some other
Yeah,
ones
Donald
around.
probably has a couple over there.
And I think Joe Bobro had some too. And, but I don't know what kind, and there's different things, I know you said, did you say Fraser fir?
Fraser.
But you had mentioned blue spruce, right, as the
Well, if you can find a green blue spruce,
green blue spruce.
well, you don't want just a regular spruce because you have to deal with the galls that the insects form on those, and then they need a lot of maintenance, they need to be sprayed and such. A blue spruce has the characteristics that you want, but without the insect issues. And some people have an issue with the blue spruce, but there are sports, which are variants of blue spruces that have green needles, but they are also free from the damage from the insects.
See, Bob, with that knowledge, you need to be on the committee.
Yeah,
Maybe.
think with his knowledge, but you'd be a good person to head
I
up with.
think that
Yes.
he'd be perfect for the,
Yeah.
we wouldn't wanna
What
get the wrong
kind
tree.
of, what kind of tree is there now?
That's a spruce,
It's a green spruce?
it's just a regular spruce.
Regular
It's got no
spruce.
color.
Right, and at some years it does get the galls from the
Ah.
insect damage.
Huh, okay.
I mean, we wouldn't have known that, we would have just been getting old tree.
So, I think are you willing to be on the committee? Yeah.
Sure.
I know he is.
Good job.
But I also think,
Thank you very
you
much.
know,
That's
that,
why
that
you can be on
Joe's,
another committee.
Joe Bogro's family has expressed interest in helping out however they can. And I think the Boy Scouts, if there's any role they could play, I think that they would. I mean, I know they can't dig up that tree, but
Well, with a lot
we
of
should ask
spades,
them
with a lot
to.
of spades, they could.
Maybe they can sell tree raffle tickets or something like
Yeah, maybe.
Hey,
that. To offset the
that's a good idea, they
this
could
big
help.
spade truck, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, he's got a good idea, maybe they could come up with some way to raise money to pay for it, to help, so we don't have to do that part.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Girl Scouts too there.
That's right, who can turn out a scout?
Right.
Well, everyone's looking for projects, community service projects, and maybe just a senior at E.O. Smith will want to do it too for next year for their project, but anyway, I think there's a lot of opportunity here for people to help. It's one of those things, and it's not gonna be hard, I think, to find helpers.
So how are we going to go about creating this
Make a
committee?
motion?
Yeah, I just make a motion. You wanna make a motion?
Well, okay, I would make a motion that we create an ad hoc committee for replacing the current Christmas tree on the green. Still need, under discussion, we can figure out the rest of it. Still don't know how many people we want on it.
Right.
All right, can we,
Leave the motion open?
yeah, so that we can add to it? Or do we have to just amend it, never mind.
I think leave it open.
Leave the motion open.
Can we do that?
Yep.
Is that such a
That's not it,
thing?
we're gonna try it.
All right, I like it.
Motion will remain
No, we need
open
someone to
to
second it.
discuss the details.
I'll second it,
Okay.
and then do we vote on it? Or no,
No,
we leave it
no,
open?
we're
We
gonna
discuss
discuss.
We're
first.
gonna discuss until next meeting.
No.
Oh, discuss right now.
We can do it now, but we need
Oh.
to figure out how many people we want on it. We know
Yeah.
we want Bob on it. Do we have any other
What do you
names you
think is a
want?
good number of people? 3?
3 or better.
3 or 5, something like that.
I wouldn't call it a Christmas tree though.
Certainly no more than
You
5.
might want to refer to it as the
Holiday.
memorial evergreen tree for the World War I monument, because those trees were, the 2 trees represent the 2 people that are